And I think we shall see probably all kinds of new devices coming into the picture. I mean, for example, this thing which got a good deal of publicity last autumn, subliminal projection. And I mean, his view of the subject was that, well, maybe they will use it to some extent in the 1960 campaign, but they will probably use it a good deal and much more effectively in the 1964 campaign, because this is the kind of rate at which technology advances.
And we'll be persuaded to vote for a candidate that we do not know that we are being persuaded to vote for.
Exactly. I mean, this is the rather alarming feature, that you're being persuaded below the level of choice and reason.
In your writing, particularly in Enemies of Freedom, you attack Madison Avenue, which controls most of our television and radio, advertising, newspaper advertising, and so forth. Why do you consistently attack the advertising agency?
Well, no, I think that advertisement plays a very necessary role, but the danger, it seems to me, in a democracy is this. I mean, what does a democracy depend on? A democracy depends on the individual voter making an intelligent and rational choice for what he regards as his enlightened self-interest in any given circumstance. But what these people are doing, I mean, what both for their particular purposes, for selling goods, and the dictatorial propagandists are doing, is to try to bypass the rational side of man and to appeal directly to these unconscious forces below the surface, so that you are, in a way, making nonsense of the whole democratic procedure, which is based on conscious choice on rational grounds.
Is there anyone out there who still isn't clear about what doing drugs does? Okay, last time. This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
The more you learn, the more confident you are about certain theories. And so, you know, when there was the microwave background radiation discovered in 1965 or so, and the results of that greatly supported the Big Bang theory, and if not falsified, at least undermined the steady state theory. So as science learns more in general, we've seen this in particle physics, molecular biology, there are fewer and fewer theories, and they get more narrow. You can never really prove a theory right. Arguably, you can falsify and prove some theories wrong, but that's the process. With consciousness, the more we've learned, especially in the last, half century or so, since I did my doctorate degree, I was working on brain stuff, and everybody, brain science has been an enormous increase. The more we've learned, the more theories we have. And so that, to me, is telling that as science has advanced, this is the only subject that I know of, consciousness, in which the more we learn, the more theories we have, not the fewer. So that, to me, is a neon sign flashing.
Yeah.
There's something going on here. This proliferation of theories. That's what we're talking about. The second point that you notice is what I call the locus of the key point of consciousness. Obviously, we're in a world, we are a human being, have a brain, at different orders of magnitude. Where is the point that the consciousness is happening? And each theory has a place in which that happens. And to me, the second big idea, in addition to the proliferation of theories, is the vast dispersion of order of magnitude of where the theories are taking place. We can start at the smallest level, which is quantum. And there's some theories that would have the quantum nature of subatomic particles. And then you go to quantum expressions within cells. Penrose Hameroff and the microtubules, and others have it in different parts of the cell. And then, of course, you can go beyond that to panpsychisms or idealism, where consciousness is, in a sense, everything, the entirety of the universe, whether it's cosmopsychisms or cosmic consciousness or idealism in some sense. So you have this enormous range. You can't have a larger range from the smallest quantum, and you go each of the steps, and there are theories at each of these steps. So those are the two big overviews, the proliferation of theories and the vast range at which the consciousness, the critical event occurs at that point. And from that framework, we can talk about specifics.
So how can we get plasticity as adult that mimics the plasticity that we get when we are juveniles? Well, the Knudsen lab and other labs have looked at this, and it's really interesting. The signal that generates the plasticity is the making of errors. It's the reaches and failures that signal to the nervous system that this is not working, and therefore the shifts start to take place. And this is so fundamentally important because I think most people understandably get frustrated, like they're trying to learn a piece on the piano and they don't know, they can't do it, or they're trying to write a piece of code, or they're trying to access some sort of motor behavior and they can't do it. And the frustration drives them crazy and like, I can't do it, when they don't realize that the errors themselves are signaling to the brain and nervous system something's not working. And of course, the brain doesn't understand the words something isn't working. The brain doesn't even understand frustration as an emotional state. The brain understands the neurochemicals that are released, namely epinephrine and acetylcholine, but also, and we'll get into this, the molecule dopamine, when we start to approximate the correct behavior just a little bit, and we start getting it a little bit right. So what happens is when we make errors, the nervous system starts releasing neurotransmitters and neuromodulators that say we better change something in the circuitry. And so errors are the basis for neuroplasticity and for learning. And I wish that this was more prominent out there. I guess this is why I'm saying it. And humans do not like this feeling of frustration and making errors. The few that do exceedingly well in whatever pursuits they happen to be involved in. The ones that don't generally don't do well. They generally don't learn much. And so I think that the studies that Knudsen did showing that incremental learning can create a huge degree of plasticity as an adult, as well as when the contingency is very high, meaning we need to eat or we need to make an income or we need to do something that's vitally important for us, that plasticity can happen in these enormous leaps, just like they can in adolescence and young adulthood. That points to the fact that it has to be a neurochemical system. There has to be an underlying mechanism. All the chemicals that we're about to talk about are released from drugstores, if you will, chemical stores that already reside in all of our brains. And the key is how to tap into those stores.
Yeah, you give them a whole cooker and
syringes,
everything.
all that.
Do you think?
Curious, maybe I can share my thoughts.
Oh yeah, please.
So around here, they practice harm reduction. But I think harm reduction is a soft version.
The Armenian
Because harm reduction means don't smoke that full of a dope. Smoke half of that dope. You know what I mean? And to me, that doesn't work. I strongly believe that we're practicing euthanasia. This area right here, within like 5-mile radius.
Right.
The way I feel, 'cause I've been living here for 4 years. I've been assaulted. I've practiced everything that I've had to practice to get protection afforded to me by the state of California, state of Los Angeles. You know what I mean? My dogs have been attacked. I've called a PETA. You know what I mean? And nothing happens. You know, there's a lot of pieces. There's a lot of these buildings. It's like they're caskets. You know, there's people
like caskets.
in my building. Every year, 5 to 7 deaths.
Hey, what's your name, man?
Nelson Eduardo Lano.
All right, Nelson. So, your name is Lano?
Yeah.
And sex casual. I mean, at night, come here at night, bro. You'll hear women screaming.
Hey, you take care, man.
I appreciate your insight. So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
He just wants the laws to be enforced and make things civilized. I don't know why the government of LA doesn't understand that, but...
We take you inside the world of the LA Sheriff gangs, groups who have names like the Executioners, Vikings, Jump Out Boys, and Regulators. These men in uniform have been accused of everything from beatings to planting evidence to murder, robberies, and kidnapping. Now, these deputy cliques have long been an open secret in Los Angeles, but to those outside the LA bubble, the reality is shocking.
Sheriff Luna, the current sheriff, though, I think has taken a much more proactive approach to this, and I think there has been a change in culture in the LA Sheriff's Department because of it.
It does seem like things are changing for the better.
I think so.